Okay, so if you guys think you have a bad love life, I'm gonna try and give you the rundown of my love life the last year in 3 minutes. Let's go. We're gonna run it back to October of 2021. I met this guy, but he was obsessed with his ex-girlfriend, made it clear, but yet he still wanted me, but every time he was with me, he made it obvious that he did not want me. He wanted his ex-girlfriend, messed me up emotionally. Okay.
So why were you there in the first place? If the guy clearly communicated that he wasn't about you, that he wasn't interested in you, why on earth would you sit here and complain when you chose to stay there yourself?
But in December of 2021, I met this other guy, very cute, very sweet, liked him a lot. His best friend outed him to me and told me that he had a girlfriend. And when I confronted him, he's like, yeah, I do, sorry. Okay. Now I'm gonna start using names because these people were assholes. So at the end of December, I met this guy named Fernando. We got each other's numbers, texted, went on a date. Pause. Now we're gonna go to Brandon of January. I met him at the same time I was talking to Fernando. I actually like Brandon way more than Fernando, so I got with Brandon and then told Fernando I had to stop talking to him. Anyways.
Guys, dating is absolutely doomed. This woman has, in the space of about 15 seconds, gone through 4 different men, by the way, of which she could have chose better ones. Okay, she's going to sit here and she's going to complain saying that she got cheated on or say that some dude didn't want her. These men are not assholes, by the way. They just didn't want to date her. Chances are the first dude was just dating people casually and wasn't interested in committing to her, and that's how we result in these TikTok videos where women are crying about their dating losses.
Silly me, because he ended up cheating on me anyways. Bonus, if you guys want to hear how I caught him cheating. I went to his apartment at 2 a.m. in the morning, knocked on the door, he opened and he's like, what are you doing here? And I was like, oh, I told you I was going to come. He's like, okay, shuts the door on my face, locks it. All of a sudden, I'd catch him sneaking the girl out the back. Yeah. So obviously when he opened the door and tried to act like I didn't just see what just happened, I was hitting him with my boots and then he claimed nothing happened.
So let me get this straight. You assaulted the guy. This is hilarious, by the way, guys. Girls will go out here and they will date men who clearly are not very interested in them, clearly who do not care about them, and then complain when they get cheated on, when the dude treats them terribly, when the man doesn't want to commit to them. Have you guys ever noticed how the people that women complain the most about are the dudes who don't care about them? The men who care about them, the men who do everything for them, the men who make things clear. Like, this woman literally traveled to a dude's apartment, I think she said, at 2 in the morning. The dude didn't even know that she was coming, and she expects us to feel empathy for the types of men that she chooses to date. I am so sick of hearing this thing, guys, where girls will say, oh, you know, I just attract assholes. I just attract guys who are bad and toxic and manipulative. But there are not bad, not toxic, and not manipulative options out there for these women. They're just not interested in them because they're boring, they're too nice, they're not very exciting, and she can get more dopamine from the guy who doesn't even care when she's coming over.
Anyways, my silly self took him back a week later because my heart was broken and I wanted him back. And then I had this brilliant...
And after all that, you take him back. So you take after complaining about all of this, the men cheating on you, the men treating you terribly, you take the guy back. And we're supposed to feel some sort of empathy, guys. Like, when a lot of these girls, guys, they sit here and they complain about their dating lives, it's honestly like I'm just watching... you guys know that meme that you've seen floating around, maybe, where it's like the different layers of the person painting on clown makeup? Women who talk about their dating life like this just remind me of that clown. They're just repeatedly painting their face, and it's getting worse and worse over time as they explain the decisions that they've made throughout their life. Let's keep going.
Brilliant idea when we got back together. I was like, oh, he bought a brand new box of condoms when we got together. Let me try asking him if we should use one, and let's see what happens. And so I said, like, hey, let's use one. He gives me he pulls a condom out of the box, and guess what? The box was already open. Oh, he did cheat because we never used one. Anyways, then I broke up with him, and then I saw Fernando again at the gym, but he was with a girl, and I texted him. I was just like, hey, I saw you at the gym. And he's like, oh, okay. Basically, like, he told me, oh, you missed your shot. I was like, okay, I understand. Have a good life. He goes, yeah, but like, when am I seeing you next? And I was like, oh. So then I thought it was safe to assume that maybe he was just like talking to her, going on dates with her, whatever, but they weren't a thing. So like, okay, but then
So this girl, right, is complaining about being cheated on, and yet she's chasing dudes, she's going out with men who are clearly with these women, by the way, and she's just trying to rationalize it to herself. Guys, women will always rationalize to themselves chasing dudes who other women are already with. If you guys have been, if you're someone who's watching this video now, and you've been in a long-term relationship, or you've been in a marriage or something like that, what you'll notice is that a lot of women will start looking at you differently when you have your girl with you. right? Because they chase dudes who other women want. It's like all of the women are chasing a very small subset of men, and then they complain when they're like, no way, he had a girlfriend? No way, other girls were interested in him? No way, I had to compete with other women? And then, of course, guys, when they get with that guy, they want pure and utter commitment from them, despite the fact that they are not traditional, that they're not wife material. A lot of them are not girlfriend material. Okay, even if a man does want to make one of these women his wife or girlfriend, the risks are just absolutely astronomical. He has to risk all of his assets, any particular children that he has down the line, and so on and so forth. But let's keep going with the video.
April, I found out that no, that was his girlfriend actually. But then I confronted the girlfriend. I was like, hey, is that your boyfriend? She's like, oh yeah, he is. And I'm like, oh well, he's cheating on you. And she's like, no, he's not, babe. So I'm like, okay, maybe they're not, because then Fernando's like, she's not my girlfriend, and I don't know. So then I got confused. Anyways, I kept talking to him. So I was talking to Fernando from about the end of February. I found out homeboy was actually engaged to her, and they had been together for 4 years, and I was just a side piece, and he would fit me in whenever she wasn't around. So now I'm heartbroken over this man, because I've known this man for almost a year now, and I confronted him, and he never even apologized to me. He left me on red. So I was like, fuck this dude. That's what—
You know why he didn't apologize to you? Do you know why he didn't answer you? Do you know why he left you on red? The reason why he did these things is because he doesn't care about you. Now, guys, you might think that I'm a vampire, okay? My little vampire avatar here. But, you know, of late, guys, I'm basically becoming a sorcerer, right? I've got like a magic ball. And for some reason, I can see into the future when these women cannot. I've got, guys, like on my desk right now, I've got a little crystal ball here. And as these women are talking, saying, oh, I saw him with one girl, I can see into the future. Right? I can see them getting cheated on. It's so wild how it works, guys. It's just absolutely magical how you can listen to these girls talk and describe their situations and then predict what's going to happen down the line. But they themselves are just so confused. It's like, oh, how did this all of this happen? I'm such a victim. Amazing stuff. Fantastic.
So he decided to meet up with me and apologize to me. But then I was like, oh, actually, I just messaged your fiance's best friend on Instagram last night because I couldn't reach your fiance since you blocked me on her Instagram.
So he met up with you. So you agreed to meet up with him. So again, you're going back for round like 3 or whatever this is. I don't know. You're continuing to see the guy. The reason why he apologized to you, he probably didn't even apologize, by the way. He was probably just looking to get some booty and was just kind of bored. So he reached out to you, see if you wanted to hang out, and then you chose to hang out with him again. Which, you know, very intelligent of you.
Yeah, then he got a little bit upset, like, why would I do that? And I was like, because he didn't apologize to me. So now he blocked me. End of Fernando. I don't talk to him anymore. And I had, like, this one...
Dude, you don't talk to him anymore. He doesn't talk to you anymore. He's the one that blocked you because you are absolutely crazy. You have been a side piece this entire time. He's not interested in committing to you. He's not interested in having a relationship with you. And somehow you think, like, oh, yeah, I stopped talking to him. Woman, you got blocked by him. He doesn't want to talk to you anymore because you have turned from a side piece to just a large pain in his backside trying to ruin other things that he has going on with other women.
I think with this guy who ended up having a girlfriend too. Then this last Saturday, I finally met up with my Instagram crush of like 2 years. He came on over, and for the first time in a year, I actually found someone I wasn't annoyed of, and I really genuinely liked him because I feel like it only takes one date to know if you really like someone. I did.
Yeah, so she got with him on the first date, which, by the way, she just said that she had a crush on this man for 2 years. So 2 years, this man has been sitting on her Instagram, she's been crushing on him, and you mean to tell me that she hasn't been chasing other dudes or she hasn't been getting with other men? You know, like, so even if any of these other guys wanted to commit to you, why would they do that considering you have a crush that you just leave in your Instagram DMs? Like, why should a dude come along, invest in you, have a relationship with you, you know, be solely for you, have a long-term monogamous relationship with you, when you literally have dudes on the back burner in Instagram anyway? What on earth is the point?
I was looking forward to seeing him again until I found out I was blocked on Instagram, and then he blocked my number too. So I'm pretty sure he has a girlfriend too because that's what usually men do to cover their traces. So yeah, that's my life. Okay, so if you guys...
That's her life, guys. You know, this woman's dating life. I don't know how many men we just went through right there, but guys, I would say that there's probably been more men than that. And, you know, we have a bunch of comments here. Let's see if I can pull up this screen here by hitting the right button. You know, we got Daphne here who says, just like me, for real. Nisa here says, the PTSD this is giving me. We really are out here living the same life. Dude, when these girls use PTSD to describe their dating lives, excuse me, am I the only one who finds this, you know, just somewhat patronizing to people who genuinely have PTSD? Like, there are dudes who have gone out here who have fought in wars, who have gone through terrible, horrific events. And these girls are saying that they have PTSD because Brandon didn't unblock them on Instagram. Man, what is society right now? Chris B here is sympathizing with her and says, damn, I don't know how you can trust anyone anymore. Beth here says, so let's meet up and share stories and start a podcast about our 2022 dating stories because your life is my life. Ha 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 ha, with a heart with an arrow through it. You know, guys, I wish there were more podcasts where these girls, you know, they link up and they share all of their dating stories. And the reason why I say that, guys, is, you know, it just makes very easy content for me. Like, I don't, you know, it's not really hard to find these videos to begin with, but I'm not really against these girls having a podcast, guys, because, you know, it's all in one place. I could just have it there and more content for the channel. But guys, speaking of content for the channel, before we jump into today's bit of a story here, just wanted to give a quick shout out to Locals, guys. If you're interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us over on Locals or Patreon, guys. Locals is totally free to join, but members on either site get exclusive episodes, stuff that YouTube really doesn't like us talking about, men's issues in particular, guys. For some reason, YouTube does not like us talking about things. As you can see, we've got, you know, a bunch of different videos, and I often do stories and things like that, and we talk about different things over there. So if you're interested in becoming a supporter, guys, you like the channel, make sure you check that out. Otherwise, it's totally free as well for the non-exclusive videos. But without that out of the way, let's jump into today's little article here, guys. And we are returning to one of our favorite places on the internet. If I can find the right button, man, I'm so blind today. Here we go. So here we have, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger. I've been using these guys for content for quite a while, but we have the female dating strategy. Now, female dating strategy is something that used to be on Reddit, which I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with, but they just cover, basically it's just a bunch of misandrists on the internet. They're incredibly large. They said that they got that they left Reddit because they were experiencing bullying and harassment and things like this, but really people were just disagreeing with them because they're insane. Personally, I think that they moved over to their own website for money, but it is what it is. So let's jump into this little bit of a story here, guys, of, you know, girls just sharing their L's. This is fantastic. This is written by a woman named Sophie 7 hours ago, and it has the tag here, guys. I don't know if you can see this. Check this out. It has the tag of cultural misogyny. Right? Over 8 years together and still no ring. Run, sis. I see these types of posts a lot on popular internet sites and hear it from men in real life. It's really hard not to engage when their forever girlfriends are the hardest defenders of their crappy men. Unfortunately, I've been there. I have to constantly remind myself that longevity is not synonymous with a good relationship. It has taken me a little over 5 years to get over a 4-year relationship I had when I was 18. I kept trying to find the same patterns in men, and it got me back into the same A-word cycles. I also have to constantly remind myself that drama is not romantic or sexy. Guys, I don't know what kind of sane individual finds drama attractive. I don't know about you guys watching this episode from home, okay? But I find drama to be incredibly unappealing. I find it to be disgusting. It's a headache. I would rather just not have to deal with any drama throughout my life if I possibly could. But you have these girls out here who will complain about their dating lives, who will say, why don't men want to marry me? Why can't I find a guy who's going to commit to me? And yet they find drama attractive. Like, I can't possibly imagine why the types of men that you're engaging with are not interested in having a relationship with you. You know, because these guys, by definition, are not interested in having smooth sailing, in having the kids, settling down, having marriage, all of these sorts of things, especially with you. So check this out. She quotes a Reddit post here that says, 3178 days together and we're still not engaged. And check out 2 of these comments, guys. So this is a very recent thing. This first comment here says, from Siberian99, says, so she basically has been playing nurse, maid, mother, and surrogate wife to him for nearly a decade without him actually having to wife her. Guys, one of the funniest things that you will see on the internet is, like, dudes who are out here not committing to women, and then women complaining about it. So like, I thought that you were strong and independent. I thought that you didn't need no man, and yet you have a whole host of ladies, guys, out here sharing their dating L's, wondering why men aren't marrying them, wonder why men aren't committing to them. And it's funny because if you as a guy, you sit down and you explain the reasons why men don't want to get married, they'll call you, you know, all sorts of names under the sun. Namely, they'll just call you a misogynist and say that you're an evil man. Because men should get married, even though it's not beneficial to men at all. We have another woman here, Soncha, who's a verified member. Man, I wonder what it takes to be a verified member on here. I wonder if I should like make an account. And you know what I should do? I should make an account here, and you know, I should like make my avatar my character, but give it like some made-up name and see how long it takes them to notice. She says, let's assume that he proposes to her now and they actually get married. Do you really want to be married to a clown like that? Yeah, guys, because if you don't marry a woman, you're a clown, apparently. If you don't want to risk your assets, if you don't want to risk your children that you might or might not have in the future, then you're a terrible, awful man. She says, legally, they would be tied together after divorce, and after divorce, let's face it, that's how this would end up. She might not even get money. Oh, damn. You mean to tell me that a woman might have a relationship with a man and not get money at the end of it? That's crazy. That's really unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that. You sound like such a victim. She says, what's the point? If you're a high-value woman, the fact that I know what this acronym is makes me incredibly sad, guys. Like, I wish that I didn't even know what this acronym was. If you're a high-value woman, do you actually need and benefit from being married? I've been married twice. Wow, you don't say. And I didn't financially benefited from divorcing them. I think she means to say financially benefit here, but it seems as though she's quite undereducated or uneducated, despite saying that she's strong and independent here. She says, hell, even while being married, I didn't benefit from being married. It was a crap show both times. I really don't see why it always has to be the end goal to get married. I agree. If you're a high-value woman, why get married? I mean, even if it's a high-value man, a lot of marriages end in divorce. Some will say you're a bang maid, nanny, etc. to your boyfriend. But once you get married, you're what? You're still this, you're still that, with the difference being that you're getting paid if you're lucky for it. I still don't get it. I still don't see how, let's leave tax reasons aside, a woman benefits from being married. If you marry rich and your husband is generous, then yeah, I suppose that's cool. But most women don't marry rich and generous. Have you guys noticed how throughout this entire conversation, not once has love or care or anything along these lines been mentioned, guys? It's basically like, you know what? I'm just going to be here, and the only reason that I'm here is for potential money in the future. Like, guys, the woman in the first clip, it's always interesting when I do these episodes. You'll see the woman in the first clip rant about how her dating life is terrible, how things are going south, and all the dudes are cheating on her, and all men are the same. And then you flash forward to, like, I'll cover a story, and it'll be like an older woman. And the women will just tie together so perfectly. Like, the woman from the first video is basically just a younger version of the women who are complaining about being unable to get married. But guys, we are going to be leaving today's episode there. As always, guys, remember to leave your thoughts and your comments to some of the things that we have covered here today. If you disagree with anything I've said, guys, feel free to do so. That is what the comments box is for. And as always, gentlemen, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next episode. Peace. Yo guys, Past Taylor here. Just want to say thank you if you made it to the end of today's episode. Don't forget to subscribe to our other content creators over here at Fiend Gang, Hidan from Peace of Mind, and Detective Warg. Their channels will be linked in the video description. They've been putting out consistent content for you guys to enjoy, so make sure that you go and show them some love. Their channels will be linked below. Also, guys, if you are interested in supporting the channel, make sure that you come and join us for free over on Locals or Patreon. On Locals and Patreon, you guys get access to archived video content that is no longer available here on YouTube. And supporters also get access to exclusive videos where we cover different kinds of topics that you won't see me talk about here on YouTube, because to be honest, YouTube just really doesn't like it. There's video topics such as how broken families are created and how men can avoid it, bad traits that men can have, the reason why women chase married men, etc. So if you're interested in supporting, make sure that you go and check that out. And lastly, guys, if you're interested in getting a character made like mine, be sure to hit up our artist at the Gecko Ninja. He is linked in the video description as well. He's been doing art for Fiend Gang for quite some time, so if his stuff interests you guys, make sure that you hit him up for a commission. As always, he will be linked below the video. But with all that being said, guys, make sure that you take care of yourselves, and I will see you all in the next one, for real this time. Peace.